Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bonfire Racing League Bonfire Premier Cup here at Richmond Raceway for this nice Sunday morning as these guys are still out on the track practicing. But we are at the short track, 3/4 of a mile almost. Short track action, flat corner or flatter corners than the mile and a half and everything like that. Ambient temperature is 77 degrees Fahrenheit with a track temperature of 82 degrees. So kind of cool track here today as these guys are going to have to manage their tires, manage track position as well. And if we have any green flag pit stops, that should be fairly interesting as this is a hard pit road to come down on under green conditions. Good view of the whole racetrack here. And checkered flag is out for practice as we move on to qualifying. See who can put down fastest lap time and start up on the front row. So it looks like we're going to start with Dennis Puckett here. It'll be easy on the throttle coming out too with that bump there. Seeing a lot of cars at practice getting loose there. Look for that to be a trouble spot in today's race. Across the line, Dennis's first timed lap. It's 22.8. Fastest I think I've seen was a 22.4. So being 4/10 off, that shouldn't be too bad. As more guys are now putting laps down. See if it pops up. Just maybe. Looks like it wants to cause issues. Not sure why it's being like this. It was working fine for practice. Right now, David Owens is on pole with a 22.42. Still a lot of guys that need to qualify still. Like this guy, Chris Morrill, who's on his second lap now with a 22.86, was his first one. So that's going to wrap up his qualifying session. There we go. Now it wants to work. Just had to let it breathe. Ticker's still not working, but we'll work on it. So there are all your current times. And the gap that separates everybody. Paul Ferdiani's now on track. Oh, as he gets into the outside wall, that's going to end this lap timing for him. May still go around, just get a few practice laps in. But it will not count towards the qualifying session. As we just see him got loose there. Oh, and he's on his roof. Be interesting to go back and see what happened to him after he got the wall. Hard hit to the inside wall and up on his roof. It's never good when, especially in qualifying. Kyle Knott leaving pit road for his qualifying session. We should see a lot more guys qualifying as the time for the session dwindles. Had to get out of the gas there. Oh, as he spins out, pushing those cold tires a little too hard. So this first time is not what Kyle would want. As Sam Milliken pops up to 9th on the board. Now for a second lap, Kyle and I improve. You can only go up from here. Across the line up to the 9th position. Brandon Shelton, number 2 for FOCM. Across the line for his first timed lap. It is on the 9th position. Corner number 4 for his final lap. Can he improve? Doesn't look like it. Now Kevin Kyle in the 1 for FOCM for his first timed lap. Through 3 and 4, gotta be really smooth. He's using that top lane. Maybe get a run for his second lap. Haven't seen anybody else do that. It's gonna be slow right now for Kevin Kyle. See if he can improve. Turn number 4. Up to the 12th position for Kevin Kyle. Now on to his teammate and championship leader, David Medina. Sixteenth quickest for David Medina here. Right on the bottom. Wraps that bottom cleanly. And out of turn 4, can he improve? It's pole position for David Medina. By 1/100th of a second, he beats David Owens and spoils that pole position. Now Justin White in the 28 for his final lap. See if he can improve. He's sitting in the 16th position. And it's 10th for Justin White. 3 cars yet to qualify. One, I think, was Joe Volpes, who couldn't get a clean lap in, and Richard Leclerc and Richard Swingle also not qualifying. As we have a minute and 45 left to go in the session. Justin White is going to come in and park it as Sam Milliken going to get some laps in. I have Jason Landry cheering for me in the chat. Jason, I don't know if you know this, but I'm not racing in it this time. I can't beat you this time here at Richmond. As now the qualifying session is over, we're going to go on to our results page and look to see those results. As it's Dave Medina taking pole position here with a 22.408. Then it's David Owens and Dennis Puckett with a really good lap time for the number 12 car starting on that third position. Nick Mills in that fourth position in the 88. Just a 10th behind David Medina. Then it's David Brenner, Mark Duma in the 6th position for that 14 car. Really good start for that number 14. Then Justin Malarkey, Matthew Smith in the 96, Sam Milliken, and Justin White starting your top 10. As the cars are starting to get lined up here on the grid. I believe the sun is coming down, so we may get a night race here at Richmond. So we're just waiting for 4 more cars to grid up. So as all the cars are now on the grid, we should get rolling here fairly shortly. Here we go. Pace car lights are off and the car should get moving here. Be 2-lap parade lap around this 3/4 miles track. Let all the fans see their favorite drivers. Because now they're going to have to try and put some heat in those tires. $20 cars here today for the Bonfire Premier Cup Series. Decent sized field for today's race, especially at a short track. Usually the short tracks are kind of frowned upon, but I think that's been moved over to the road courses. It's the final time for these drivers to get those tires and brakes warmed up before they go firing down into turn number 1. And all the nerves to be settled here. As we're going to go short track racing 2 times in a row, but this time at Richmond. Dave Medina going to wait for Barney the Flagman to wave that green flag. Green flag up in the air. We're racing in Virginia. Good start for Dave Medina. Oh, as Mark Dumont got up into the wall. He's going to spin in front of the field. Collect Justin White as well. I think that's Paul Ferniani also involved, or maybe just stopping on the track. See what happened here on our replay. As he gets into the wall. And just spun. Oh, got Justin Malarkey and Justin White in there as well. Paul just waiting for the space to clear. Hard break for the 14 car. So we have some guys down pit road. Justin Malarkey and Justin White, who were involved in that incident. Mark Dumont should be coming in as well. Dennis Puckett, who lost some spots there, who started in that 3rd position, but almost got taken down to the infield wall by Mark Dumont. He fell back to the 6th position. But I don't see any real damage on that car, so everything should be fine. Dennis able to keep a hold of that race car. That car involved, or that wreck involved 3 cars, our final 3 on the timing board. Paul Ferniani coming down for some service. I don't think he had any damage. I think he was just filling up with some fuel as it was a 5-second stop. As those pace car lights are off, we're going to get back green flag racing here. It's Justin Malarkey is back out on track. Dave Medina going to lead him to the Geico restart zone. Should have a decent jump here, and he does. He's going to clear David Owens and bring Nick Mills with him, be side by side. That bottom lane having an overwhelming advantage here at this racetrack. Can the field get through Clinton? No, Joseph Amato got spun out there in the back. But we stay green. Let's go back and see what happened there to Joseph Amato. He's in the 19, got loose there, turn number 2. Came up in front of, I think that was Joe Volpes as well. So, some damage there for Joe Volpes on the front of that race car. on board with David Medina. Oh, as Nick Mills got a little loose there coming out turn number 4. He saves it. Gonna fall back to the 4th position. Further back, I think that's Kyle and not, yeah, they're up on the top lane. Try and build some momentum. Now I think Nick Mills and Matthew Smith are fighting it out for that 3rd position. Now Kevin Kyle sneaking up on Joe Volpis and David Beal. Kevin having to be patient here. Still a lot of laps to go. Oh, that's Kyle and I got loose. Looks like he saved it. Don't see any real front end damage there for the 988. It's now Kevin Kyle on the outside of the 52 of David Buell. David Buell got a little loose there coming off of turn number 2. Kevin Kyle gonna power around the outside. He really wants to try and clear the 52 here. Doesn't look like he's gonna be able to do it this lap. So now we're on board with Dennis Puckett. Oh, as he drives up the racetrack. Overshot the corner a little bit there. He's got Chris Smorrell to his inside now. He's gonna fall back into the 9th position. Kevin Kyle did get around David Buell there for the 11th position. Nick Mills and David Owens now battling it out. Nick Mills to the inside of the 11. As David tried to cross him over there off of turn number 2, couldn't quite get it done. Joe Volpis now catching up to Dennis Puckett. Going to look to the inside going in turn number 1. Can't quite get it done there. As it says, Justin Malarkey crashed. We're still green. We're going to go see what happened to Justin Malarkey. Going through turn 1 and 2. Probably gets loose. Yep, there he goes. Keeps it off the wall, barely. And he is going to tow. As Joe Volpis crashed. Don't know what happened there, but it is going to bring out a yellow. He's on the inside of Dennis Puckett and just drives up into him. Tears up Dennis Puckett's car as well. Not sure if Joe thought he was clear. Let's go back and try and watch it. So I missed it again. Here we are. On board with Joel Volpis here. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Yeah, I think he just didn't know Dennis Puckett was in that lane there and just came up into him. So he's going to come down pit road now. Kyle Lynott, Joseph Amato, and Dennis Puckett and David Owens all down pit road. It's going to give Mark Dumont the wave around. He's 15 laps down. Guess my mic was muted there for a little bit. Not sure when I clicked it to mute, but it was there. Going back looking at the replay, wasn't muted for very long. I don't know when I did it, but I did. So, but we're all good now. You guys didn't miss out on any important information there. As the pace car lights are off, they're going to get double filed here. Should be a very interesting restart. Dave Medina should get a decent jump, but that has Nick Mills on the outside and Matthew Smith in that third position. Not sure if Matthew will be kind of heads up and kind of know when David's going to go, and maybe Nick Mills going to slide down right in front of the 96. We'll have to see as they hit the Geico restart zone. And I think that's exactly what happened. Nick Mills able to hold on to that second position. As Nick Mills is looking for the lead. He's going to lead lap 27 there. Dave Medina's going to fall back to that second position if he can get down there. They're back. Richard Swingle is up on that top lane. Oh, as Joseph Mayo hard into the outside wall. using that wall as a brake. Kevin Kyle loose. Can he save it? Yes, he does. Big heart-stopping moment for the driver in number 1. As Nick got a little loose there coming out of turn number 2. David Owens there on the high lane. Oh, and David Brenner hard into the inside wall. That front bumper's gone. Or no, now it's back. But how is that left front tire? Is it knocked out of place? He's going to come down pit road. Because that toe is probably, yeah, you can see it knocked in there. Joe Volpe is now looking to the insider of Richard Leclerc. Kyle Lynott closes in on these two. Now Joe's going to look on Richard Swingle in the 97. And Joe's back up into that 9th position. Sam Milliken getting a little bit of heat from the 5 of Chris Morrill. So he tries to run that middle lane. Chris just drives on by. Richard Leclerc still losing positions. He's 7 positions up from where he started. But he was in top 10. Now he's back into the 13th position. As now Sam Milliken has some company from his teammate David Owens in the 11. Just can't really get that car down to the bottom. He's running that middle lane. Brandon Shelton had to get out of the gas there. He almost lost it coming out of turn number 2, as now Dave Medina is on the rear bumper of Nick Mills. And Matthew Smith is in there as well. As Nick pushed up a little bit, probably had to get out of the gas there on an exit. Dave Medina get right up to his rear bumper. Question is, will David Medina use it? De Medina's so good at holding the bottom, getting that time through the center of the corner. As the fight for the 5th position heating up between Brandon Shelton and David Owens. David Owens now looking to the inside of Brandon Shelton. Brandon gonna let him go. As Richard Swingle and Joe Amato are battling it out on the front straightaway in front of Paul Ferdiani. Brandon Shelton still falling back, under threat from Sam Milliken, who's about a half second behind him. As David Owens trying to fight on the top on Chris Morrill for that 4th position. Chris gonna let him have it. It's David Brenner now coming back out onto the racetrack. Joe Volpes and Kyle Anott are trying to get around David Buell there for the 8th position. Joe Abel gonna be able to get by this time. Kyle's still looking to the inside going into turn number 3. Nick Mills and Dave Medina still fighting it out for that lead position. David gonna power by on the outside to get back up in front. Little wiggle there out of turn number 2. Nick Mills starting to kind of fade back away from Dave Medina, who's got that clean track out in front of him. Fight's not over yet between Brandon Shelton and Sam Milliken in the 17. Joe Volpus and Kyle Annott catching up to Sam Milliken after scrapping their way through the field. Hopefully that doesn't hurt their tires any. Matthew Smith under threat from David Owens in the 11, moving up into that third position. Matthew Smith giving David Owens a lot of room there on the bottom of the racetrack. Dave Medina is now running away from Nick Mills. The last lap was 2/10 better as we have a yellow Richard Leclerc. See him there on the back straightaway. Not sure what happened to him. Oh, just got loose right in front of Paul Ferniani and Dave Medina, the leader. As that's going to bring out a yellow with almost half with this race over. Will the leaders come down pit road? And they do. David Owens staying out. Or is he coming in? Looks like David Owens is coming in. Kyle Annott staying out. As we are going to see a race on pit road. So it's no contest for the top 7. Kyle Annott not paying. That's not going to let Dennis Puckett or David Brenner get the wave round. So David Brenner's going to come down pit road. Ferniani and Joseph Amato and Joe Volpus also down pit road. So we are going to stack the field back up here. As pace our car lights are going to go off this time by, they're going to re-rack them. And Kyle Knott's going to take the top. David Medina going to be down on the bottom. Probably to have David Owens, Kyle Knott's teammate, behind him. Green flag back up in the air. We're back racing. Kyle Knott with a really good launch there. Off of Dave Medina. Nick Mills right on Dave Medina's rear bumper. Nick Mills and David Owens going to be too wide. It's now Dave Medina looking to the inside of Kyle Knott, who's on those older tires. And there's a wreck further back, I think. I heard some scraping. Maybe it was Dennis Puckett into the outside wall. We stay green. Not sure what happened. It's now Matthew Smith's getting involved. Oh, and there's a big accident down the back straightaway. David Buell sideways. David Brenner and Richard Swingle also involved. Dennis Puckett spun around as well. All those cars get back rolling. David Brenner trying to stay in front of the pace car. Go back and look to see what happened there. Oh, Buell just got loose. Started coming up the racetrack, and just turned out of it. Not sure what happened with Richard Swingle and David Brenner behind him. Oh, Brenner should start coming down with the wreck happening in front of him, and both of them go for a ride to the infield. Richard Swingle, it doesn't look that torn up for him. And with Dennis Puckett, just got clipped from the rear bumper of David Buell. Nick Mills and David Owens came down pit road with Matthew Smith, Joe Volpis, Kyle Knott. Those guys not involved in the accident, but did come down pit road. That's going to put Chris Morrill, Brandon Shelton, Sam Milliken, and Kevin Kyle as your top five. FOCM up front once again. Halfway through this race, still a lot of action to come. Hearing that maybe they're 8 laps short for the guys that have pitted. Wondering if they can stretch the fuel mileage that long. Guys who didn't don't think they can quite do it, so they're going to hope for another stop. The pace car lights, I think, will be turned off here, and we'll get back green flag racing here in Virginia. Four FOCM cars in the top 5. All in a decent spot to be the top 4. I do think a race winner will be coming within the top 6, possibly. So we're going to go back green flag racing here as Dave Medina going to take off in the Geico restart zone. Really good jump from his teammates on that second row. Kevin Kyle got pushed up there. Not sure what happened to him. Oh, as Brandon Shelton loses it into the inside wall. Hard damage for the driver of the number 2. We stay green, though. I'll go back and see what happened to Kevin Kyle on that restart. It looks like just Kevin Kyle overdrove the corner and just went up the racetrack. Is now David Owens up into that second position, getting past Chris Morrill there. Oh, as Matthew Smith, Kyle, and I are slow further back. See what happened back there. Matthew Smith getting loose. Having to hold on to it. Joel Volpis on the inside of Kevin Kyle. That is for the 6th position. The old tires not working out for the FOCM crew here. And this as Joe Volpis almost loses it. Getting to the throttle a little bit too early there out of corner number 2. Is now David Owens looking to the outside of Dave Medina. David's just got to try and protect the bottom of the racetrack. As we do have a yellow Dennis Puckett crashing in the back. Go look, see what happened to him through turn 1 and 2. Coming out of 2 and loses it. Hard impact to the inside wall. And he just can't get that thing turning the right way. And he jumps into the pits. So I think now everyone's going to come down pit road because they can make it to the end on fuel. Maybe some guys will try and stay out and gamble a little bit. Try and use the caution laps to their advantage, but I think all those FOCM guys are going to have to come down pit road for fuel. I don't see David Owens coming, or Dave Medina coming in. David Owens faked it. Sam Milk and Kevin Kyle, Joseph Amato Paul Ferniani coming down pit road. Kyle and Brandon Shelton also coming in. Dave Medina thinks he can hold on here. Is David Beal going to get the way around and get back onto the lead lap? Give him a chance to come down and get tires and fuel. Dave Medina is going to try and stretch it. He's going to have to try and stretch it 15 laps, which I think is way too much to be in consideration of trying to save. Kyle and Joseph Amato are down pit road. So it's going to be 2 to go here before we get back green flag racing. Brandon Shelton missing that front bumper cover on that number 2. Not sure when he lost it, but he did. That car seems to be pointed straight, and he's going to get back racing here. Should have better brake cooling if there's an advantage to it, but on the offset, you add about 40 pounds of downforce to the front end. Dave Medina's going to try again to hold off those guys that have fresher tires. Or they actually took fuel only, so now that I'm looking at it, looking at their times, so we'll have to see how Dave Medina can hold off the 2 behind him as he's going to take off in the Geico restart zone. Nick Mills with a really good jump on David Owens. He's going to take that second position easily. Bill gets through turn 2 okay. Oh, as Joe Volpus and Richard Swingle up into the outside wall. Turn number 4, both over driving the corner. As David Buell spun out just a little bit there on the exit turn number 2. He just keeps going. Now Paul Ferniani trying to make a run on Kyle Anott there for the 11th position. As I hear some tires screeching up front, that's Matthew Smith into the outside wall. Not sure what happened to him. Gets up top and gets loose. Luckily, he holds on to it and keeps going. 51 laps left to go here in this race at Richmond. David Owens got a little loose there off corner number 2. So now the stadium lights are on as we are moving our way into the night here. So it's telling me David Buell crashed out but jumped into pits. That's why we're still green. Go back and see what happened to David Buell. So he gets loose through turn 1 and 2. He gets sideways. He's just gonna park it. Further back, Paul Fernandez trying to get around Richard Leclerc there for the 10th position. But he's got Richard Swingle right behind him. As Kevin Kyle closing the gap to Sam Milliken for the 6th position. Kyle and I making the pass just behind this battle on Brandon Shelton for that 8th position. And Joseph Amato crashed. Not sure what happened to him as he's in turns 1 and 2 and just loses it and spins out. Surprised that's not a yellow for it being on the middle of the racetrack, but as Dave Medina is going to hit lap 100, it's going to be 41 laps left to go here in Virginia. And Nick Mills starting to kind of rein him in just little by little. Time Dave Medina was just a tad faster than him. So now the leader's starting to catch up to Joseph Amato, who will be put a lap down if they get by him. First time I think we've seen lap traffic come into play here, as he's going to run the top lane and let those two by. David Owens a little loose there again. Not patient with that throttle pedal at all on exit. Gotta caress that throttle pedal. You gotta. And there's an egg underneath that throttle pedal. You're spinning the rear tires way too much. Big Mills up until the outside wall there just a little bit on exit. It's going to make him lose a little bit momentum. As Paul Fernini and Richard Swingle all fighting it out for that 11th position. Matthew Smith there sitting in the wings, watching it all happen. And now Kevin Kyle having some heat from Kyle Lanot. Oh, as Kyle got loose and spun right in front of. That's going to bring out a yellow. Where's the car, though? Car doesn't look too bad. Go on and see what happened. Yeah, I got loose. Locked it down. Short little spin there for Kevin Kyle. He does stay on the lead lap, so that is a good thing for the driver number one. But will we see pit stops this time by? We see everybody going down there. They're going to go in. Kyle not staying out. Not sure if that's going to bode well for him. Pitted on lap 83, so I guess it will. Brandon Shelton also staying out there, missing a front bumper. David Brenner going to come down pit road now. Not sure what happened with David Owens, but he's all the way back in the 11th position. Not sure if he got caught speeding or what happened to him. Pace car lights are off. We will be going back green flag racing this time by. Kyle not taking that top lane. Is that turn number 4? Kyle not going to lead him to the Gecko restart zone. Hopefully this is the final time we'll be under yellow. That outside lane got a really good jump. Nick Mills looking to the outside. The 988 should have... Oh, Chris Morrill gets into Joe Vulpes. Right in front of Kevin Kyle as well. Yellow flag is out. Kevin Kyle with just nowhere to go. This field's going to try and get reset here. Not sure what happened there with Chris. Oh, Chris got loose and had no control of his vehicle. So now we know what started that whole deal. Pace car lights are still on. I think it should be about 20 to go when we go back racing. Just still a lot of time for things to happen. Kyle not on older tires. Last time he pitted was on lap 83. So those tires have a good amount of wear to them. About 17 laps old. As now those pace car lights are off. We'll get back green flag racing here. Nick Mills had a really good launch there at the start of the race, or start of the restart, getting him up to that second position. Now that he's on the bottom, it should be fairly easier for him if Kyle doesn't get the jump on him. As the pace car is going to pull down into pit road. Dave Medina right on the rear bumper of Kyle, and Kyle's going to take off. Clear Nick Mills. Start Kyle and Ott really needed. As Nick Mills is slow on the back straightaway. Oh, as Nick Mills hard into the outside wall. We stay green. See what happened to Nick here. Gets loose in turn 2 and just goes up the racetrack. Tough break for the driver who was fighting for the lead here late in the race. But now it's Kyle and Ott with a hard charging Dave Medina. He's to his inside. As there is a yellow flag. Richard Leclerc bringing out the yellow this time. Getting loose in corner number 2 and hitting the inside wall. And spinning back onto the racetrack. Kyle and Ott was leading when the yellow was thrown, so he's going to retain the lead. Lucky break for the driver of the 988. Matthew Smith getting the wave around. Going to get back onto the lead lap. 14 cars on the lead lap now. Mark Dumont, David Brenner, the only two with their laps down and still running. Richard Leclerc also, I believe, will be a lap down. Actually, he's coming out, so he should stay on the lead lap. As this race is going to be heating up with the laps winding down, a little short track melee here late in this race. But I have a feeling most of these drivers will say this is way better than Iowa last week. I wasn't here. I was at Road America on a little vacation. But I definitely heard about the trauma that everybody had from Iowa. As the pace car lights should be going off this time by the 12 laps to go when we go back green flag racing. FSCM on the bottom, Gulf Coast on the top. See which team prevails here as the pace car does pull down off pit road. Kyle Knott going to lead the field to green. As it's going to be 12 to go, can Kyle hold on? Sam Milliken with a really good jump clears Dave Medina. Leaves that bottom open for him. Field gets through cleanly. There's the two guys running in second and third bump there, coming out of 4. As Sam Milliken got loose, and Richard Swingle also loose into the outside wall. We stay green. As I hear more cars getting torn up in the back, but I don't think it's anything important. As now Kyle Knott's got the lap car of Mark Dumont in front of him. But here comes Dave Medina on the rear bumper of the 988 into corner number 3. The 988 blocking, trying to hold that bottom line. David gave him a little bit of a nudge there. Got him loose, moved him up the racetrack. Here comes the 988 blocking. What a short track race this has become. Dave Medina looking to the outside now. He clears him. And be side by side. Will it be 3 wide going into 3? Dave Medina wants to clear the 988 here. Barely does, but Not fights back. Dave Medina finally getting clear of the 988. .988 letting David Owens go by. That is going to be 5 to go left here in Richmond. Paul Ferdiani looking to the outside of Sam Milliken there for the 6th position as Paul goes way up the racetrack. Oh, if Joseph Amato gets loose, will he come back up on the racetrack without bringing out a yellow? He's got to get back going. He's sitting there. He wants the yellow to come out. We stay green. But Owens loose out of corner number 2. Two to go here. Dave Medina, it's 1 to go for Dave Medina if he can get to that white flag. Through 3 and 4, everything's still good and clean. White flag up in the air, 1 to go here in Richmond. David Medina was 11 laps down when he finished last week at Iowa. Probably got a torn up race car. But now, he led a majority of the laps today here at Richmond, holding off Nick Mills, David Owens, Kyle Knott. And he's going to come out turn number 4 as the winner here at Richmond.
Good job, man. fun. I'm glad we
I
did
think the
that.
17 is gonna be pissed at me.
Joseph, no, Sam and Joe Amato got in each other, and I got skipped out 2 spots.
Would we end up 6th and 7th? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Take that.
I tried the Medina.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough track, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you do got some.
Hearing a little bit of the post race there for the team of FOCM. David Owens coming in, but Dave Medina gonna burn it down here at Richmond. Or he's gonna try to, at least. As he's cheating a little bit with that burnout. Using the wall. Can't do a burnout like a man. Nah, I'm just teasing. There he goes. Now he's burning it down properly. Right on the start-finish line. So we go to our results somewhere. There they are. Medina bringing it home after starting on pole, half second in front of David Owens, who gave it all he could there at the end of the run. Joel Volpes coming back from that incident with Dennis Puckett to finish third, and Kyle Lynott, who tried to hold on, all tires, finished in the 4th position. Brandon Shelton in that final top 5 position, followed by Chris Morrill and Kevin Kyle, also part of FOCM. Then it's Matthew Smith, Nick Mills, Paul Ferniani, Sam Milliken, Richard Leclerc, and Joseph Amato all finishing on the lead lap. Then it's Richard Swingle, Mark Dumont, David Brenner, David Buell, Dennis Puckett, Justin Larkey, and finally, he finished last, but not last in our hearts, Justin White. As I don't see anybody coming into the booth, let's say we're going to wrap it up here at Richmond. Had one good race going here. We'll be back next Sunday at Auto Club for a night race there. Not my favorite place to race at night. I'd rather it be in the day where it's hot, slick, multi-groove, but I'm not the one making the schedules. We'll be back for Bonfire Big Truckin' Tuesday. I was on vacation last week, so I didn't get any of the recording done there. But we'll have a good time there in the booth as always. And we'll be signing off here from the Bonfire Racing Network.